back. Final Score here on GCI Cable Channel 19, Broadcast Channel 35. If you want to check out some previous episodes of Final Score, all you have to do is go to alaskasportschannel.com, click on the link that says Final Score, and you can check out previous episodes from last week on our website. So just go to alaskasportschannel.com, and you can view those previous episodes. Other stuff going on in the world of sports. Obviously, the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony this past weekend in Cooperstown, New York. And this class of athletes and managers that has gone into the Hall of Fame may be one of the best in recent years. One of the biggest since 1971. Actually, the biggest since 1971. 6 total inductees. Usually the inductees are a little bit lower in numbers. You maybe get 2 to 3 people inducted, but this year Frank Thomas, Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, Joe Torre, Bobby Cox, Tony La Russa, all inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, and all 6 of them have every right to be there. This is one of the rare times that the Baseball Writers Association got it right. Every once in a while, they'll leave somebody off just by a few votes, and, you know, everybody has their different way of voting, and what merits, you know, a Hall of Famer, what doesn't merit a Hall of Famer. So everybody has their different ways of thinking, but the Baseball Writers Association this time around got it correct by inducting these 6 guys. I mean, just look at some of the numbers for Tom Glavine. 305 wins, 203 losses. He had a 3.5 career ERA. He pitched in 682 career games, 4,413 innings during his career. He spent time in Atlanta, in New York for 5 seasons, and then he finished his career in 2008 with the Atlanta Braves. Was the 1995 World Series MVP. He won the Cy Young Award twice in 91 and 98 as a member of the Atlanta Braves. He put up terrific numbers. He led the NL in games started in 93, 96, 2000, 2001, and 2002. It just speaks to the longevity of Tom Glavine. Take a look at the numbers for the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas. Coming into the league in 1990, in his first 8 seasons, he batted over 300. It wasn't until 1998, that Frank Thomas had a batting average under 300, and he batted 265 that year. Then it went back up to 305, 328. And as soon as it got into the early part of the decade, the 2000s, his numbers started to dip a little bit. But he was actually the comeback player of the year in the year 2000 and 2006. And you take a look at his numbers and what he did in 2000. He had 143 runs batted in 2000, coming back after an injury. Frank Thomas, when he came into the league, pitchers were mortified of him. I mean, here's this big, menacing man standing at the plate, 6'5", 275 pounds. He just was, and the nickname that he was given, the Big Hurt, was appropriate because he absolutely hurt the baseball. That guy could put the baseball in places that many people cannot reach in a ballpark. It was absolutely amazing to watch him, hit the baseball. And he also was a pretty decent defender as well. He won the Silver Slugger Award in 91, 93, 94, and 2000 as well. So a 4-time Silver Slugger Award winner. Just amazing numbers that Frank Thomas put up. You take a look at the numbers for Greg Maddux. 305 wins, 227 losses as a pitcher, 5,008 innings over his career, 744 games. What might be the most impressive thing about Greg Maddux, an 18-time Gold Glove winner. That speaks to how well he could field his position. Not only was he an 18-time Gold Glove winner, he could handle the bat pretty well. If you needed a sacrifice bunt laid down, there was nobody better than Greg Maddux at that point in time of a game to lay down a sacrifice bunt. Nobody. hands down, if you wanted to advance a runner from base to base and Greg Maddux was up at the plate, he was going to lay down a perfect bunt. For kids out there that are looking to learn how to bunt correctly, go back and watch some of Greg Maddox's bunting skills, because he could place the baseball exactly where it needed to be placed and perfectly dent the ball for a sacrifice bunt. And he could also hit every once in a great while for power. I think he had a few home runs in his career. But he could handle the bat very, very well. A very well-rounded baseball player. One of the last remaining pitchers that I can remember that could actually pitch as well as he did, win 18 Gold Gloves, and still handle the bat decently enough to be respected at the plate. You see a lot of pitchers today, just stand up there for 3 straight strikes and walk back to the dugout. It happens. Pitchers don't want to be at the plate sometimes. And Greg Maddux, one of the best pitchers I've ever seen, and I will never, ever forget the cut fastball of Greg Maddux. Fastball looks like it's tailing outside, and then just at the last second, right back over the outside corner of the plate for a strike. It was an absolutely marvelous pitch that Greg Maddux perfected. That cut fastball, nobody else had it like Greg Maddux. And then you take a look at the 3 managers, Bobby Cox, Joe Torre, and Tony La Russa. Wow. All the World Series rings compiled between those 3 guys. Of course, Tony La Russa and Joe Torre have the majority of those. Bobby Cox only winning the one in 1995 with the Braves. But you take a look at all the pennants that those guys won, World Series rings that they have. It's just an induction of excellence. Winning excellence. And finally, I'm pleased to see that the Baseball Writers Association finally got it right, inducting those 6 guys. If you didn't get a chance to watch the ceremony this past weekend, you can go to MajorLeagueBaseball.com, and they have the induction ceremony online, and you can watch the whole thing and all the induction speeches for Frank Thomas, Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, Joe Torre, Bobby Cox, and Tony La Russa as well. Just go to MajorLeagueBaseball.com to check all that out. When we come back, we'll take a look at Marcus Mariota and the class load that he has, and also we'll have Are You Kidding Me to end the show. You're watching Final Score right here on GCI Cable Channel 19.